Hello, everybody. This is Miss McCullough, and for our first week of remote learning, we're going to be talking about adapting to this new reality that we find ourselves in. So this video is going to walk you through some information that I want you to consider, and then you will have an assignment to go along with it. So without further ado, here we go. Our world changed really, really quickly, and we have gone from a time where our lives were very scheduled. And if you know anything about me, I am a creature of routine and habit. So we've gone from having bells telling us when to move from which class and when we're at school and when we're dismissed, to all of a sudden having completely free-form, loosey-goosey kind of a schedule. So that's a really big adjustment for us to make. So this week's lesson is really intended to help you kind of make sense of this new reality for you. It's going to be really critical that you learn to organize your time so that you can take care of any academic work that you need to take care of yourself, and to be there for those people in your life that need you. So this is a lot to ask. It's usually skills that we really, really start to learn as we get into college and our adult life. But this is definitely a life skill that is going to be helpful no matter what, and we are in a position to tackle it now. So let's talk about what your typical day will probably look like. You're still a student, and the remote learning that we are doing right now is an opportunity for you to continue to grow and improve your grades. So as a student, the majority of your focus for your day, like a good portion of your day, should be focused on schoolwork. So that means checking things like Schoology or Google Classroom, whatever online systems are being used by your different classes. Work on assignments, reach out to teachers for help and support, etc. Maintaining the work that you've been doing. A really big portion of your day also should be dedicated to your health. So think about things like bedtime, wake time, when you're eating, what you're eating, getting some exercise, getting some fresh air, going outside for a walk, and taking time for some mental health breaks for yourself. You are probably stuck at home with family, and so and it can be really, really difficult to not have those social connections that we're used to every day. So take some time every day to help around the house, check in with your friends, visit grandparents in those social distancing, responsible ways. We are really, really fortunate to be in a time with so much technology. I have some friends who have started playing games through video conferencing. So make sure you're taking time to fulfill some of those social needs in responsible ways. And then time for you to do some other responsibilities. Maybe that's some chores around the house, running errands, kind of other things that might fit into your day. So our first portion that you should consider as you're planning your day is what schoolwork can look like for you. So create a system that's going to help keep you organized. Most of the work that we are doing is really self-directed and self-paced. So make notes of deadlines or due dates so that you can stay on top of those. But there's something that is pretty cool about this opportunity to be more self-paced and self-directed is you're not stuck in one classroom for 94 minutes at a time. I really like a method when I need to work on stuff in a more unstructured way. I really like a method of working for like setting a timer for 30 to 45 minutes and focusing on the task at hand for that amount of time. And then when that timer goes off, I give myself like a 5 to 10 minute break before I restart that method again. That's something that's been really effective for me. So even though we're in remote learning or we're in the mode of receiving some enrichment, your brain is important. And there's nothing worse feeling than not feeling like stimulated and thinking. So make sure we're still continuing our education. There's still things that you'll be moving on to, like your next grade or into college next year. And so we don't want to get out of practice with our learning and keeping our brain moving. So schedule your time in chunks. 10 minutes here, then a random hour, and then checking your email while watching Netflix leaves you with a whole lot of things started and unfinished. Try that method of really focusing for 30 to 45 minutes and then giving yourself a short break. Ultimately, what we're working on here is time management and self-advocacy are going to be post-high school skills that you're getting firsthand practice with now. So ask for help when you need it and manage the hours, the time that you have in front of you. As far as your health, this is a really, really stressful time for everybody. You need to figure out a routine that's going to help you fall into a sense of like normalcy. And that will help you kind of create that sense of normal and healthy. So setting a bedtime and a wake time for yourself is really, really helpful and important. It can be really, really tempting to like shift super nocturnal and go to bed at 1 and wake up at 3 in the afternoon, but you're not going to be productive at that, like with that kind of setup. Because even though we're in that remote learning time, I'm not up at 10 o'clock at night still to check my emails. So still try to remain among the regular waking hours. And that's going to help you utilize this time in the most productive way. I've said this to students before. It might sound familiar to you, but if you ever feel like you're in a funk, I recommend that you drink some water and maybe step outside into some fresh air and get some sun on your skin, because humans are basically houseplants with more complicated emotions. So if you're feeling like blah, go get some water, go get some air, go get some sun. We're still able to go out into the outdoors as long as we're still practicing those safe social distancing techniques. You should also be doing other fun things for your brain. Color, play music, another creative activity that you love that helps you de-stress. This is a time that's going to amp up pretty much anybody's anxiety, whether or not that's something that you struggle with on a daily basis or if this is the first time. So doing some things that give your brain a break can be really, really helpful. For example, I just bought myself a new set of metallic watercolors, and I'm going to be painting a little bit more than I usually have in the past, just because painting is something that I find really, really soothing and calming for myself. Get some exercise. YouTube has lots of free workouts from yoga to high intensity training. Set some timers so that you make yourself get up from your computer and stretch or take a walk. Fitz, my dog, and I have been going on like 3 walks a day, just because I know I can get stuck in one position, and the air and the movement is really, really good and important. And you want to keep up some normal routines, like getting ready in the morning. Sure, it's nice to sit around in your PJs and messy hair for a couple of days, but man, you're going to start feeling really like a slug if you are not getting up and maybe showering. So I maintain those kind of moments of normalcy, and that will help you kind of get through this time as well. Next, devoting some time to family and social contact. Things are probably really hard on the adults in your family right now. And so, and the other members of your family or the other members of your community. So have some patience with them. Offer to help around the house where you can. This, like, if you're feeling overwhelmed, um, reach out, let me or some other teachers know we're here to support you. And we just want to know how to best help you. So if you're finding some time, like if you're finding it hard to juggle this kind of time, and the responsibilities that you might be facing at home, maybe you're watching younger siblings while your parents are doing their own work from home situation, just communicate with your teachers so that we know how to support you. Check in with your friends on their social distancing experience, but call them and talk about dumb stuff. My friends and I have been watching Parks and Rec over the phone. But do whatever you do to like bring some laughter back to some of those normal conversations that can help you de-stress. It's important. And I know it's really, really hard to go from being able to see your friends every single day to being really, really limited in who you can contact. But we are really fortunate to be in a time of technology that we have the technology at our disposal to still see each other's faces and share our screens as we watch a show together. So take advantage of those. And finally, other responsibilities. Like you're going to have different sets of additional responsibilities on your shoulders, especially at this time. So help yourself feel more in control of the responsibilities, schedule them into your routine so that you're not constantly interrupted. So if you're babysitting a younger sibling, figure out what downtime is going to, when your downtime will be, morning, evening, like where can you get some of that remote learning done? And if you're feeling overwhelmed, send an email to your teachers or your counselor. We're here to listen and help you come up with a plan. You don't need to bear all of this on your shoulders unless you choose not to ask for help. We want you to be okay in this situation as best as you can. So here's an example of a potential schedule. And you'll see that there's like, you don't have to do everything at the exact same time every day, but kind of mapping out what your ideal day is going to look like is going to be really, really helpful for you. So think about when you're going to set your alarm, when you're going to get ready. And like your wake up and morning routine might take place later, like a little bit later than it would for a normal school day, but you still don't want to be sleeping your day away until 11 a.m. So, there's also a place on the schedule to kind of say where you're going to do something. Think about where you can carve out some space that's specific to you, that's going to help you be your most productive or your most relaxed for that given activity that you're doing. So think about the amount of time that you want to do your e-learning. So where are you going to check for your assignments? Maybe you take care of one or two things or get a couple things started. Take some time midday for lunch and relaxation. It is getting so beautiful in Colorado. So this is a good time to go for a walk. Then you can come back and get a little bit more of your work done, completing any additional assignments or emailing teachers with questions, starting to make a to-do list for yourself. Schedule some social time, check in with your friends and family, color, draw, play music, just watch the squirrels or the birds outside, do something that's really for you to enrich you. Maybe you might take some time to make dinner with your family. Sometimes we complain that, like I hear complaints that you don't learn enough life skills in high school. This is a great time to get in the kitchen and start learning some of those family recipes so that you are a more prepared human for when you are out on your own. But take some time to check in with your family. Maybe you come back and do a little bit more e-learning in the evening. You check your email again to see if your teachers responded, and take some time towards the end of the day to really wind down. Watch a TV show, brush your teeth, go to bed at a reasonable and normal time. So you can think of how you might set this kind of work up for yourself. So maybe you do something really fancy like a bullet journal. Maybe you just make a list. And so at this point in time, you have within you right now everything you need to deal with whatever the world can throw at you. You have adults and teachers who want to support you during this time. Trust me, it's kind of killing me that I don't get to see your faces. You have family that is there. You have the skills to make this work. It's going to take some resiliency. It's going to take maybe a little bit of trial and error, maybe a routine you set up for yourself or that you think will work in practice doesn't work so well. So be flexible and be willing to kind of make adjustments here and there. And we're all getting through this together. So do the best you can. Let me know how I can help support you. But our focus this week is establishing that sense of routine for ourselves so that we can really get to the heart of what we can do during this time where we've been thrown into. So take care of yourself. Look in Schoology for the next portion of the assignment where you will create your own routine and you'll submit it to me so I can see kind of what you're working with. Have a great, or as great as you can, rest of your day and week. Check in with me. Let me know how you're doing. Talk to you soon. Bye.